suivez Group Station Canada, le chemin de l'information.
Mesdames et messieurs, bienvenue à votre émission La Flamme Sportive avec David Charlot et Jean-Marie Dantes. Aujourd'hui, on va commencer avec une bonne nouvelle pour Giannis Antetokounmpo qui a signé le plus court contrat de la NBA à ce jour, 228 millions pour 5 ans. C'est une extension déjà sur le contrat qu'il y a en ce moment. Il y avait des rumeurs que Masai Ujiri voulait le signer, mais maintenant ça tombe à l'eau. Mais c'est sûr qu'il n'est pas content parce qu'avoir un joueur comme Antetokounmpo dans son équipe, là, ça aurait fait du bien à Toronto parce que maintenant, ils n'ont pas une mauvaise équipe, mais c'est une équipe qui va avoir beaucoup de travail à faire durant la saison et durant les séries éliminatoires.
Puis j'avais vu des critiques là, par rapport au fait qu'il décide de rester à Milwaukee. Mais l'affaire, c'est que il serait parti de Milwaukee, on l'aurait critiqué parce qu'il va sûrement rejoindre une autre équipe de championship calibre pour gagner un ring. Ils ont dit, oh non, il y a besoin de ta. Mais là, il reste à Milwaukee, il monte un peu de, comment tu dis ça, un peu de fierté, un peu de
loyauté.
De loyauté, merci. Il monte de la loyauté, mais les gens le critiquent parce que il veut pas vraiment gagner. Et comme à un moment donné, il faut se décider là. C'est un très bon move pour lui. Il est allé chercher le gros sac, le plus gros contrat.
Ouais.
Et puis moi je suis content qu'il reste avec Milwaukee. Ouais.
Yeah, non, moi aussi, comme je dis, c'est à la fin de la journée, là, tu fais ce qui est mieux pour toi.
Ouais.
Et à la fin, comme on dit, man, le gars là, il se fait partie de notre équipe, c'est pas sûr qu'il y aurait eu tout cet argent-là.
C'est ça. Il n'y aura pas pu avoir tout cet argent-là de toute façon parce que c'est juste Milwaukee qui pouvait le donner autant de montant, autant d'argent.
Là, maintenant, qu'est-ce que ça pose? Ça fait que maintenant, tu sais que Giannis reste. Ça fait que maintenant, s'il y a des gens qui veulent venir le rejoindre, c'est pas lui qui va partir, c'est le monde qui va venir à lui.
C'est ça.
À Milwaukee.
Exactement. Donc, ouais, non, bon move. Si on passe au hockey, moi j'ai lu que ça se peut que toutes les équipes soient aux États-Unis cette année, qui jouent aux États-Unis, dépendamment de ce que le gouvernement canadien, de chaque province, là, ici on sait comment ça fonctionne, dépendamment de ça va être quoi les décisions gouvernementales face à la reprise de jeu puis au camp d'entraînement. Et puis, on a entendu, je pense, dans la semaine, si je ne me trompe pas, que le gouvernement Legault a donné le feu vert pour que le Canadien puisse commencer son camp d'entraînement. Qu'est-ce que tu penses de tout ça là et tout?
C'est une bonne nouvelle pour les fans, mais c'est une injustice pour les gens, les athlètes qui veulent aller au gym, s'entraîner, les gens qui veulent faire leur petit basket, peu importe l'activité physique qu'ils veulent le faire, ils peuvent pas à cause des restrictions durant la pandémie. Là maintenant, tu donnes le droit à une équipe professionnelle de pratiquer c'est pas justement son sport, leur passion, mais de rouler sa business. Qu'est-ce qui se passe aux gens qui veulent rouler leur business, les gens qui veulent faire pas ce qu'ils veulent, mais qui veulent faire ce qu'ils veulent pendant leur temps libre.
Ouais.
Si on les empêche de faire ce qu'ils veulent, et puis ceux qui ont de l'argent, ils peuvent le faire, c'est injuste pour les gens, je ne vais pas dire normaux, mais les gens qui n'ont pas les moyens.
Ouais. Mais c'est incohérent aussi parce que, bon, pendant que tu parles des gens qui ont leur business, il y a plusieurs gyms, là, par exemple. Je ne vais pas donner d'exemple pour ne pas faire de la publicité gratuite, mais il y a des gros gyms ils pourraient accueillir des gens, même si ce n'est pas à pleine capacité, mais ils pourraient quand même accueillir des gens, puis que les gens puissent venir s'entraîner. Mais on a décidé de tout fermer. Et le fait que tu donnes pour moi un passe-droit à une équipe professionnelle, ça va faire du bien à l'amateur sportif, c'est vrai, sauf que au niveau sociétal, dans la société, il y a un équilibre que tu dois respecter et tu dois quand même garder comme l'équitabilité pour au moins avoir pour pas avoir l'air d'un, excusez-moi l'expression, mais avoir l'air d'un con là non plus, là, parce que tu dis oui à un, mais tu dis non à l'autre. Et c'est comme si là, présentement, on interdit tout le monde de se réunir en famille pour le temps des fêtes, mais que tu permettes à ceux qui ont un manoir, qui habitent dans un château, d'accueillir les membres de leur famille parce qu'ils ont assez d'argent pour respecter le 2 mètres de distance, pour respecter les règles sanitaires. Ça, moi, je trouve que ça va à contresens les décisions, surtout qu'on a les jeunes qui sont à l'école, beaucoup, c'est leur motivation d'aller à l'école. Et puis avec toute cette pandémie-là, les problèmes mentaux qu'on connaît et tout, ça vient pas aider. Fait que là, non. Je suis un amateur de sport, c'est vrai, sauf que tu regardes Toronto, ils ont juste dit non, c'est non. Les Raptors, ils jouent pas à Toronto, ils vont jouer à Tampa Bay. Pour les amateurs de Toronto Raptors, oui, ça fait un peu mal au cœur parce que leur équipe va pas jouer à domicile, sauf qu'on va quand même pouvoir les regarder à la télévision, puis c'est la même chose pour les Canadiens. Ça va faire très mal pour les partisans québécois de ne pas voir le Canadien au Centre Bell, sauf que si tu veux vraiment faire respecter les règles sanitaires, tout le monde doit respecter les règles sanitaires.
Ouais, je suis tout à fait d'accord avec toi, Jean-Marie. Et il s'est passé quelque chose pour moi, j'ai aimé ce qui s'est passé. Francesca Bellibi, qui joue sa deuxième saison avec l'équipe de Stanford NCAA pour les femmes, elle a dunké, mais c'est une jeune femme qui dunkait depuis le secondaire. Puis c'était vraiment beau à voir. Il y a eu un vol du ballon, un petit crossover, puis après un dunk. C'était vraiment beau à voir. Puis j'ai aimé le voir parce que maintenant, une femme qui dunk, ça va amener non seulement une audience, mais ça va, comment dire, ça va motiver les autres filles qui savent qu'ils ont cette capacité athlétique d'aller dunker, d'aller le faire aussi. Puis j'aime ça, ça montre c'est pas le sport d'une coche, mais ça démontre que les femmes aussi peuvent dunker.
Ben, ça rajoute au spectacle. Là.
Oui, tout à fait d'accord.
Au spectacle féminin qui peut-être que, si on le compare avec le basketball masculin, c'est peut-être ça qui manque au sport, au basketball féminin. C'est ces petits trucs-là.
L'aspect physique.
L'aspect athlétique, physique, là. C'est peut-être ça qui manque un peu plus. Mais si on commence à voir les femmes qui donc de plus en plus, bientôt on va avoir une femme qui va faire un 360. Puis pour moi, ce serait encore plus impressionnant de voir une femme qui arrive puis 360.
Oh mon gars!
Que de le voir de la part de Vince Carter, parce que je vais dire, oh wow, une femme qui fait ça, c'est merveilleux là.
non, vraiment, puis quand on a dit ça va amener du bagage, puis ça va amener, excusez-moi, j'ai oublié le mot en français là, mais du leverage aux femmes, pour leur contrat. Si tu es capable de faire ce que Vince Carter fait, on va dire, tu es capable de faire 360 ou between the legs, t'amènes quelque chose. Ça va donner une marge pour aller chercher le revenu qui t'est dû.
Ça va attirer beaucoup plus de public aussi. Là. Le public va regarder beaucoup plus. Là. Vraiment que la vidéo elle va générer beaucoup de views, comme on dit. Là.
Vraiment.
Donc, non, félicitations à Mademoiselle Bellibi.
Ouais, Bellibi. Kishan Barthélemy, un jeune de Montréal. Il a commencé sa saison avec l'Université de Colorado. Il a juste ses 4 premiers matchs. Et puis, force à lui. De retour après la pause, on va avoir une entrevue avec une jeune femme qui se nomme Olivia Brown, qui va nous parler un peu de son parcours dans le basket et de son parcours en tant qu'entraîneur.
Suivez Group Station Canada, le chemin de l'information.
Transport Dantes, bonjour.
Oui, bonjour, j'appelle pour une livraison.
Votre livraison est en route. Merci. Chez Transport Dantes, nous avons la solution pour vos besoins en livraison et déménagement. Téléphonez-nous au 438-771-5338 ou visitez le www.dantesexpress.com.
Vous suivez Group Station Canada, le chemin de l'information.
Olivia, good to have you here. Thank you for your time. And how are you today?
Of course, thanks for having me. I'm doing really well today, thanks. What about you?
Me, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, of course.
So, Olivia, we're going to talk about you and what you did as a basketball player and as a coach also. And we're going to talk about girls and basketball in general. My first question to you is, what did you think about the dunk of Francesca Bellini?
Okay, yeah. I seen that. Oh, I'm all about it. I'm all about it. I think that's super awesome. We don't see a lot of girls dunking, honestly. So, especially in a college game. So that's pretty crazy, honestly. I love how the bench hyped up. I mean, like, the last time I remember girls dunking was like Candace Parker and stuff. Like, it's cool. I love it.
Yes. And do you think, because you see, you mentioned Candice Parker, and I thought there's another one. I think Leslie also. I don't remember the nice name. Leslie did was Leslie was a dunker also, or no? I'm not sure.
Leslie.
I don't remember her last name. But anyways, do you think that now we have people like Candice Parker, Francesca Bellini dunking? Will it motivate other girls, to go dunk also, or it's like it's nothing new?
I mean, the thing about it is for girls, like you don't really see much girls 6 foot, like 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean? A lot.
Yeah,
Well, at least here. Maybe in the States you see more of it, but if they can, like, do it. And I'm sure it'll motivate other girls who are taller who maybe don't play basketball. Maybe they'll say, hey, I want to dunk.
yeah.
That's super cool because you just see a lot of guys doing it, So I think it definitely motivates somebody who's a bit taller could try and dunk.
I see, I see. And do you think it's something that will benefit the the girls basketball, women basketball in general, or it's just something that will I know it's one of a like lifetime thing.
I mean, I definitely think it's going to be something that will encourage. I mean, like, look at the NBA. They have a dunk competition. Guys, you should see the bench after a guy dunks. That's a huge dunk. So, I mean, to see a girl go out there and do it, I think the crowd should like go wild. You know what I mean? Because it's so
Yeah,
unusual. So, I think that it's definitely like a step in the right direction. I think it's really cool. I mean, there's so much more to basketball than dunking, but I truly think that it's something cool.
yeah. All right. Uh, Next, Miss Olivia, how did you start playing basketball?
Yeah, so I mean, I actually started playing basketball pretty late, considering a lot of people start when they're really young, maybe like grade 5, 6 even. I started actually in secondary 3, so grade 9. Um, it was my dad really encouraged me to go play basketball. He used to be a basketball player, so as soon as I got to the tryouts, I was hesitant, especially it was mixed boys and girls, so I was even a little bit more nervous, but as soon as I started playing, like I loved it. Like I didn't ever look back since. Um, so right from there, I went to girls intercity, all girls, because I'd rather play with all girls at that age. And that's when I started, and it just took off from there. And I haven't stopped playing basketball since that day.
Nice, nice. So you mentioned intercity. Which city was it? Like which neighborhood?
So I played for the Il Perro Cavalier. So that's where I started playing basketball. Yeah,
Oh
pretty
wow.
far.
Yeah, not pretty far, but uh, it's fun that you mentioned them because I was playing. I don't remember the year, but man, they had a good squad and midget, midget double A. They were good, man. They were good. And uh, was it difficult at the beginning, playing with boys, or were you able, like, handle it, give it to me?
I mean, because it was my first time playing, I was definitely a little bit more shy. But definitely you could see like that was the last time I played at the tryout. I didn't stay with the mix because the guys weren't really passing the girls the ball. So you'd really have to prove yourself. So I didn't stay long enough to prove myself. I just went straight to the girls basketball, like all girls.
Okay, I see. And my next question to you is: did you stop playing basketball there, or did you continue?
So yeah, so I started playing basketball. I played basketball 3 years intercity until grade 11. And then actually I went on to play John Abbott College, so pretty close by, Il Pro here. Um, I played there Division 1, so I stayed my full 3 years and I played there. I chose not to continue basketball after college. I wanted to focus a little bit more on my school. I could have went on and played university, but it was just like a personal decision. Um, but after that, I then found my passion for coaching and giving back.
Okay. I see. We're gonna talk about this a little more later. But when you play in CJET, because you know, I've seen some picture of you. You had posters of yourself in the school. Let's
Yeah,
talk about that, because
yeah,
to me, when I see that, it means look at, she's a star over there. You know, that means, no, she's doing something to get that big poster in the school. So what did you do to get that and that poster?
I mean, the poster was great. Obviously, I loved it, you know. But I mean, like basketball is a team sport, so like, you know, I got to give credit to all my teammates out there. Um, I would say that it took me a while to like, you know, get siege up is a lot. It's a big transition from intercity to college. So I was struggling a little bit at first, like I'm not gonna lie. Um, but it taught me a lot, you know, basketball that I learned so much. But I would say my strongest um like what like my strongest I forgot the word here, my strongest points, I guess, while playing college was my defense. You know, I was a very fast player. So that's, I guess that's where that poster came in. They got a nice action shot of me sprinting down that court as fast as possible. So, yeah.
Okay, okay. So your first year you were struggling. How about your second year? How was it? Did you improve or did you stay on the same level that you were in the first year?
Yeah, I mean, I think all of my years, it was like a progress. Like, you know, I went up. You know, it was a lot to handle the first year just because of there's so much like an overload of information of offense, defense, plays. There's so much stuff I never knew that I didn't know about. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, so, you know, it was a lot of learning and studying my first year. And so my second year, I was able to maybe let loose a little bit more and play and like understand the game a bit better. So, you know, I would say that every year I got a bit better for sure.
Okay, okay, nice. And so in your last year, how was it? You know, it's last year. Yours, yeah, it's sophomore, right? It's freshman, no, yeah, sophomore. Yeah, yeah, sophomore. So third year, it's your last year. How do you feel? Like it's your last year playing. So how do you see that last season at John Abbott?
My last season, you know, it was a good season. You know, we ended off on a really strong note. My last game, we just missed the playoffs that year. The second year we made the playoffs. The third year we didn't make the playoffs, but we ended off on a strong note. We beat Montmorency, who was actually a really strong team at that
Yeah,
time,
yeah,
and yeah, it was just like it was super fun, emotional but fun. You know, as a vet, you really have to take on like leadership. You know, for the rookies that are just coming in, so you know you got to like in a sense like pave the way for them, you know, make sure that it's a good environment for everybody to learn and to grow. But you know, uh, I love my time at John Abbott. Honestly, you know, it was so much fun. You know, you have great teammates. I made friends for life. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
it was super fun, emotional. It was a roller coaster, truly. But I loved every second of it.
Nice, nice. That's the thing. You have to love your experience when you're playing at
Hmm.
any level. So happy to hear that, and congrats on those 3 years over there. Now, my next question
Thank
to
you.
you is, you explain how you entered the world of basketball through your father,
Mhm.
which is, good, great. And how did you start coaching? Because, to start coaching, did you go back to your initiative team or did you go look for an opening somewhere? How did you start coaching?
Yeah, so after John Abbott, you know, I studied a little bit on focus a little bit on my schooling. And then one of my good teammates that went to Abbott actually, she got a coaching, like a coordinator job at a basketball in the city. And so she kept calling me to, you know, help coach, you know, and I wasn't sure. I was like, maybe. But then after I ended up uh start coaching at Brookwood. So that's where I started the Brookwood Girls program. You know, it used to be a very powerhouse back in the day, at least back in my day. So I went there. I started off as assistant coach. So that's really where I started. I stayed there for about 2, 3 years as assistant coach there.
Okay,
And then I think from there, I thought it was time to, you know, I think I was ready to handle being a head coach.
okay, okay. So now that you became a head coach, what was the transition like? Because you want to assistant coach, the blame, when you lose or win. like everything that is done in the team, you don't get the blame for it, even the
Yeah.
reward of wins. How was the transition to coach, not coach, to assistant coach to head coach?
Yeah. Yeah, so I left Brookwood and then I went to the Wolves basketball in NDG, like the Côte de Neige area. That's where my friend was the coordinator. So I started there and she gave me a Bantam girls team. I've always coached girls, by the way. So I got there and honestly, I think I had a lot of experience with the assistant coach and I thought, that really prepared me to be able to handle the head coach position. I was also very fortunate that I was able to pick good assistant coaches. She didn't just give me anybody. I was able to pick somebody that fits my personality and who we could bounce ideas off of each other. I think it's really important that your coaching staff is positive and you know like if whatever your flaw is or you know what I mean, like you guys
Yeah,
complement each other, right? So
exactly.
I think I was able to really handle the transition. Obviously I learned so many things along the way, whether it's parents mad at you at the end of the game or like you said, taking the loss, it
Yeah,
keeps you up at night sometimes. So you got to learn to really balance everything, make sure you manage everything very well. So that's something I really had to do too, you know write out practice plans. Before I never used to. I would go in there and help out when I was needed. So I thought I did an okay job, but obviously I learned so much throughout the years of being a head coach.
okay. And correct me if I'm wrong. You guys won that year, right?
Yes, we did. Yeah, we won my first year. Yeah.
So yeah, you did a pretty good job.
I mean, yeah, I was fortunate. I had some really talented players that year, but we went up against Brookwood that year, and
Oh,
they were. It was a tough win, but we won. We won. I was so happy.
so you won against your first, not the first coaching job that you had.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was pretty crazy. This full circle happened. Yeah.
Yes. So how was it? It's your first year as a head coach, and you win like the finals. How does that make you feel?
Oh man, if you only knew. Like I can remember, like it was yesterday. Like I didn't sleep the night before. I was so nervous, and Bantam, I find it's a very, very the hardest team to coach because of the participation rule. The
Yeah.
4 minutes, 4 minutes. So to create your lineups, if an injury happens, it messes up your lineups, and oh man, it's not easy. So I'm up all night thinking of possible combinations. If somebody gets hurt, if they double somebody on the other side, like I was so nervous when I came in. But nerves I think are a good thing. That means you care.
Yeah, true, true. You're passionate about it. So if you didn't
Yeah.
stay up that night, man, you're not passionate about it.
Yeah, yeah.
So you mentioned you only coach girls. Is there a reason why you only coach girls, or
Um, I don't think there's any like particular reason. That's just where I started, and everybody wants to coach boys. So I think, and also there's an abundance of boys coaches of boys teams. So I really thought I felt like I really had a calling to girls basketball. I just really want to see girls basketball be on the rise, and I just want to be a part of that. I think it's really important,
all right? So you
especially
just
being
sorry, repeat
pardon?
that, please.
No, no, I was just like, sorry, just to add something. I was just saying that, especially being like a female coach, like I would hope that that would inspire them to, continue basketball or to even later after their basketball career, whether they want to or not, become a coach after.
Yeah, yeah.
It's always like a snowball effect.
Yes. So you mentioned something about the rising of basketball, girls, women. So tell me more about it. Do you mean that there's not like enough I would say yeah, yeah. There's not enough basketball for girls, and no.
No, that's not enough. Not nearly enough.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
I mean, like, here's the thing. Girls basketball, I understand it's hard to get girls out, especially here in Montreal. Girls, because I started, I coach girls right now. it's difficult to get them out, you know, to bring them out to practice, to stay committed. It isn't easy, you know. So it, it's hard. So a lot of programs sometimes can't last, you know what I mean? But just as an example, the top programs here in Montreal for girls is Brookwood, Lakers, and the West Island. So that's just two in the West Island.
Yeah.
And Lakers has every category. Brookwood unfortunately doesn't anymore. They only have one or two for girls. So after that, in the city, there's my program, Dawson, like Blue Hounds, and I think that's it. And Red Rush is a summer program, so like that just goes to show you there's not much, you know, for girls.
Okay.
Um,
So now that you mentioned that, so to me that means you had some challenges while playing basketball, growing like inner city and at college. Can you mention some challenges that you went through during your time
like as a player.
as a player and then afterwards as a coach?
Well, back in my day, since it's been a while, um, I guess like well, for starters, when I started basketball, I had no interest in it because I didn't really see a lot of it around, you know. My dad had to introduce me to it. Like at school, there was no girls basketball team where I was. So right then and there's not enough advertisement, I think, at least when I was playing for girls basketball. So that's a challenge, you know, as a player to know that, you know, where's my resources? How do I like, you know, I started basketball very late. So it depends, I guess. In my area, that was one of the problems. As a coach, again, it's I think a lot of the same thing, the advertising and the lack of like funding. You know, there's not enough funding for girls basketball. Like it was very difficult for me to, you know, start my basketball program. The place I was before cut the girls program because of political reasons and stuff. And so, right, like, see, that's just like it's just crazy. There's not enough. There's so many challenges to overcome. You know.
I see. Wow. And sorry. So to your point, what do you think needs to be, I want to say, to improve so there are less challenges for girls or women that wants to play basketball or want to be introduced to the sport of basketball?
Yeah. I think that's a good question. I mean, I think I have a list, you know, but I guess like, you know, better advertising, you know, introducing it at a younger age too, you know. A lot of girls think it's too late to start, you know, like they see on the internet like, oh, I want to be just like her. Oh, but I'm already 13. You know, it's too late. I suck, you know. So um like I started so late, but it's never too late, you know. And I just think that programs need to also make sure that they get good coaches. You know, a lot of them sometimes are volunteers or, you know, it's important to make sure you have good, influential, positive coaches to make sure they continue. You know, if they love you and they're going to love the sport too, right? They're going to want to be like you and they're going to want to follow and, you know, you make them fall in love with the sport. So I think, you know, making sure you get surrounded the right people, better advertising, you know, more funding to get girls involved. And I think that, you know, having a lot of mixed teams
Yeah.
at a younger age maybe doesn't help too sometimes. Not
Why
all the
is that?
time, but
Why?
well, you know, the girls are shy, you know. There's like what I've done some clinics for elementary schools and it's like 10 guys to 2 girls, right? So you know, it's maybe if it was just an all girls thing, maybe more would come out or I don't know, something like that. Sometimes they don't feel as comfortable.
Yeah.
There's so many different possible reasons, but I think that, you know, it's just important to, you know, try and, you know, fix some of those things.
No, I totally agree. I feel like, like you said, because some girls might be shy, they want to play, say, it's just for man.
Yeah.
For boys, if you have one, like, only for girls and only for men, it's very like that.
Yeah. Sometimes, you know, boys are maybe more aggressive than girls are, you know, so it's, you know, it depends on the age, but
Yeah.
you know, that's it's tough. It's tough.
No, no, it is tough. It is tough because, like you said, because boys might play in a way, that girls are not ready to play in that way,
Yeah.
especially as a young age. But moving on,
Yeah.
you said that you started your own program.
Yeah.
So is it the reason you mentioned before? Is it the reason you started doing your own program, or why did you start your own program?
So the reason I started my own program was because the place I was before cut the girls program. And honestly, it's too bad because the program was really like on a rise for girls. So, once I heard the news that they're going to cut it, honestly, like it was truly heartbreaking for me. At least I was like, man, like all this, first of all, the work that you put in for the girls,
Yeah,
goes unnoticed and like, unbothered. And then you feel so bad for the girls,
yeah,
and you're like, well, where are they going to go? Who they're going to play for. There's not many other teams, or maybe they'll just stop altogether. So me and a few other coaches, we got together and we were brainstorming, and like it just happened so fast. Like it happened in the summer, and by October, we were like, or the paperwork was sent in. We told all the girls to come with us. So we were fortunate enough that we had at least a small base of girls that followed us,
yeah.
so we could start the program, because starting a new program for all girls at least is very difficult, right? Yeah, people don't trust. Say like, well, who are they? Like, so there people are hesitant to maybe come. So it was good that we already had like two teams to start off with. So we were very
Oh,
fortunate. Yeah, we had a bantam and a midget. So we were very fortunate.
oh, nice, nice. And after that, is there like something you're doing more than just not just, but you have your own program? Did you like also coach another program, or do you do something else with basketball, or you only focus on your program right now?
No, so well, me and a few others, we run the program, but not only do we run it, we coach in it as well. So that's always challenging. Now I'm doing not just the X's and O's,
Yeah.
I'm doing all the paperwork and the business side. So that's not easy. It's a lot of challenge in itself. And I also was coaching at a private high school. I was coaching two teams there, so I was very busy. Yeah.
Yeah, you're a busy woman.
No, yeah, I am.
So, now that you know, uh, my next question would be if you have any tips, any tricks, advice, anything, what would it be for, uh, in general, for like, let's say not in general, but for girls that want to play basketball? What would be your message to them, to help them?
Um, wow. My message to any girls that would want to play basketball is, don't even think about it. Just come and do it, because you never know. Like, you could be great, or sometimes it takes a little while and you could still be great.
Yeah,
It's not also just about basketball, it's too, basketball, being in a team, you really kind of find who you are, and you get a great group of girls. You get very close to them, and they're from different schools or different communities. So it's a really good community based close program as well. So you get a lot of new friends, and it's really encouraging, and you never know where it could take you. And I think that's really important. And you learn a lot of life lessons too, punctuality, respect. And I think that it's really it's it's it could be an amazing experience, and I think that every girl should do it. And if you do, bring a friend. The more the merrier, I say. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's what I would say.
All right. Uh, Olivia, thank you for your time. Thank you for answering my question, talking about your path into basketball and what you're doing right now. Uh, lastly,
Yeah.
lastly, with COVID now, because right now we know we're in a pandemic.
Hmm.
How how do you go about it? Like, for your program, like, did you stop, or you, like, what are the challenges right now for your program during COVID?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, no one ever expected COVID to happen or last this long. So in the summer, while it was still hot outside, at least I did a lot of individual training, at the park. Bring your own basketball, everybody bring their own water bottle, small groups. I did that a few times a week, so that kept the girls a little bit in shape. But since it's been getting cold outside, and we can't rent gyms right now, what the only thing I could really do is to keep in touch with the girls. I send them home workouts that they can do. And also there's other small facilities that are still allowed to do training. So if the girls ever want to do that, I'll send them the information and they could at least try to attend. If not, I just try to keep them updated and keep them positive, and that hopefully will resume soon. And fingers crossed that after Christmas,
Yeah.
we could get going.
Yeah,
It's not
no,
easy.
no, it's not, man. It's not. It's gonna be a year, I think, in March, if I'm not mistaken. So
It's crazy, man. Like,
it has to end. So before we log
yeah.
off, can you tell us your name of your program, where you're doing it, so we can get you some girls.
Of course. Yeah, we're always welcoming some girls. We love it. We speak English and French, so don't worry, don't be shy. So the program name is Uptown Montreal Basketball, also known as UMB. We are located in the Uptown area, so Côte des Neiges, NDG, Côte Saint Luc area. So very accessible to the metros and the buses, so girls can reach there easily. So yeah, that's the program, and we hope that everybody comes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Olivia Brown, and once again, thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your basketball life with us, and until next time.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Oh, our pleasure. All right,
Yeah.
so
Thank you so much.
we're going back in studio.
Merci à Olivia Brown de nous avoir donné un peu de son temps pour nous parler de son parcours.
Effectivement, c'était vraiment un très beau parcours qu'elle a eu.
Yeah.
J'espère que ça inspire plus de jeunes femmes aussi à vouloir s'impliquer dans le monde du coaching ou poursuivre leur carrière de basketteuse ou peu importe le sport, que ce soit le soccer ou le hockey. C'était une très belle entrevue. Nous sommes extrêmement contents de l'avoir reçu et on espère que vous avez apprécié.
Mm-hmm.
Et sur ce, on vous souhaite de joyeux temps des fêtes.
Bonne année.
Bonne année 2021. Et puis profitez-en, reposez-vous. Et puis on se revoit à la deuxième saison.
Transport Dantes, bonjour.
Oui, bonjour, j'appelle pour une livraison.
Votre livraison est en route. Merci. Chez Transport Dantes, nous avons la solution pour vos besoins en livraison et déménagement. Téléphonez-nous au 438-771-5338 ou visitez le www.dantesexpress.com.